Morning, morning, morning. It's Friday. Can't decide whether the sun's staying out or not today. We'll see. It's our computing, our wider curriculum. So, let's have a look at our do now first. If the WR robotic equipment was human, which component would be our nervous system? Well, we discussed that, didn't we, in class? It would be all the wiring. That's the thing that sends all the signals to where they need to be. So, the nervous system would be the cables, the wires. What do you look for when deciding which search result to click on? And there's a couple of answers here. Okay, so there's a couple of answers. If you go onto Google, maybe we search Totley Primary School. You know, what do you look for? Do you look for, if we scroll down, do we look for, I'll just bring it a bit closer. Oops. You could have a few answers here. You can look for the website itself, the web address, the ending. .gov is always an official government website. .org.uk is normally information or educational. .co.uk simply means the website made or has the domain of the UK. You could also look at the date. So here we've got, this was updated 15th of January 2020, so a pretty recent one. That's probably got quite a lot of up-to-date things. You could also have a look at the little kind of summary bit. You just have a quick glance at that and see, is that actually what I want? So there's a couple of things that you can do. What is this number as binary? So I'm going to show that how we quickly do that. So always write from right to left with this. So 1, 2, and double up for 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. So what have we got? So one of those, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I did that one. So one of those, one of those, one of those. Okay, so it should be 32. Should be 35. Do you access the internet when using Google? Haha. So if you can remember back to when we were looking at how technology works in our lives, no, you do not access the internet when using Google. I'll be very impressed if you got this answer right. You access Google's index of the internet. Remember, they are always collecting web pages up and finding what they think is the most useful. So you don't actually access the internet through Google. You access Google's version of the internet. Whether that's good or bad is something that's interesting to discuss. But there you go. And well done if you remember that one. What is the keyboard shortcut? What is the keyboard shortcut for cut? It is hold Control C. What is Control V? The shortcut for? Well, that's paste. So you got cut and paste. Okay, so if you click on the item, I could probably do it here for. Oh no, I can't. It's PDF. Onto the task, and I will quickly go through this because I might need to explain this a little bit. So, following on from last week's computing task, where we wrote lines of code down, try to create some 2D shapes only using code. And like I say, take a look at last week if you need a reminder. Sorry, I didn't realise where that was pointing then. There's lots of ways to do this. Grab a sibling and control them, or give them the lines of code to follow and see if it works. Or you can simply draw it out on a piece of paper and see whether it works yourself. So there's loads of things you can do here. I would, you know, if I had siblings, I'd probably make them do it, explain to them the lines of code. If they don't understand, just kind of push them carefully and just move them as if they're the robot. So, I've drawn it out very quickly on a piece of paper. So, you've got to pick a 2D shape. Now, let's be honest, a square is a little easy. You might want to start with a square just to warm yourself up. I might go for an isosceles triangle. Okay, so I'm going to go for an isosceles triangle. I'm going to make it look like, oh, it's probably a little bit more equilateral, that, isn't it? But I'm going to go for these two being the same. So, decide where you're going to start. I think I'm going to start here. So, if that's where my robot was pointing, I'd want to go forward. It's however long you want it. Let's just go 10. Forward 10 is my first one. And then what I need to do is I need to work out what the angles are going to be, don't I? So if I'm facing that way, I need to work out what my angles are going to be. So let's say that these two are going to be the same, aren't they? So let's say 80, 80, and then 20, because then that equals, yeah, 180. So then, when you get to this corner here, so I've moved forward 10, I'm now here, okay? I want to move and draw this line. Now we did this, a lot of us did, no, we all did this in maths a couple of months ago. And we all, even me, put, say 20, but remember, if your robot or person or sibling, if you tell them to turn right 20, it's only going to do that. Okay, so you need to work out actually how much that needs to turn to make the 20 degrees. And we realise we have to take the 20 from off of a full turn. Okay, so once you've got there, you're facing that way. But sorry, it's off a 180, sorry, not a full turn. So if you did a 180 turn, you're going to go face this way. You want 20 less. So if you say turn 160, you're going to be facing that way. So it's right 160. I think I'm predicting that myself. This is tricky. You've not got a robot in front of you, but this is hugely computing skills for anything. You know, if you can do this without a robot in front of you, by just doing a doodle or imagining it, then brilliant. Then, well, I know that's got to be the same, so I'm going to say forward 10 for that one, because he said it's nice isosceles. And then, so now I'm facing this way. So now I want to create, I'm facing that way, I want to create an 80-degree angle here. So if I take 80 from 180, it's going to be 100. So I'm going to say, right 100. And then I'm going to say forward. Now if I say forward 10, that's not going to be right, is it? Because they've got this these two sides are already the same. So I'm going to say forward 7. To me, that should work. What I would do now is I would grab a person, or I would do it with a pen, and I would see if it works. The main thing of this, guys, is just doing a bit of unplugged coding. Can you predict the lines of code for me? Thinking about, to make a turn, you've got to remember you're working on that 180. If it's facing that way, how do I get it to turn all the way around there? Really tricky task. Have fun with it. If you're really not sure of that, do something like a square. Okay? But have a go with it. Tricky task today. And then enjoy your weekends.